Hi there, my name's Nick Dutch and I'm an experimental occultist. I've had a fair few experiences in my time, some of which were interesting, some of which were curious. Remember that when I was a kid I wanted to be an electronic engineer, and let's say my life didn't quite go according to plan and I started to develop interest in other things, which led me to the work which I'm currently doing and led me to experience some of the things which I have experienced. In my teenage years, something happened which essentially was the game changer for me. It made me want to have more of an interest in the concept of, rather than necessarily the art or science of prophecy. Essentially, when I started getting prophetic visions for the first time in the dead of the night, they frightened me to the point whereby on some nights I would basically refuse to go to sleep because I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know what was happening. I thought all kinds of nasty things could be occurring, until such time as nature took its toll, and I ended up being able to start to sleep at night again. But what would typically happen is that I would fall asleep, and often as I came to, as I was just waking up after a period of being asleep, and I tended to sleep in waves, so this could have happened a couple of times in a night. I would see or have an experience, a dream, which I wouldn't necessarily be able to completely decode or work out at that time, but what would later make sense, and it would be as if a camcorder just like this one was placed in the position of my eyes in the future, and about 4 or 5 minutes worth of time would be recorded and played back to me a few nights earlier. And when that time came, I would be able to remember which night I had that particular, vision thing on. I would be able to remember what all the various people were supposed to be saying, and I would realize that I personally was powerless to be able to say or do anything else that was in contradiction to the vision itself. This raised all kinds of issues to do with free will and determinism, until such time as I guess I stopped caring whether there was free will or not, and I just tried to carry on being the best I could be. But it was scary, and I wanted to try and find out more about this. I read a fair few books on the subject. I looked deeper into the subject of occultism and spiritualism, and I tried to find people who said that they could do this 100% reliably. I didn't find anyone who could do it 100% reliably, but I did find a lot of people who claimed it. And I think that was probably one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn as far as occultism is concerned. And there are lots of people who say that they are the ones who have all the knowledge, all the facts, all the wisdom. And in practice, it's not necessarily the case. And there's lots of people who have a very distorted perception of reality because they believe that they themselves are the ones who are in charge of everything, and they're the ones who know everything, and that everyone should basically bow to them. So getting it right is difficult when you're dealing with people who claim to be occultists. And unfortunately, it's those people who claim that they are the way, the truth, and the light within any form of paranormal investigation who are, to the most part, the most damaging factors in the movement, because they are. These are people who choose to present themselves as being something which is better than what they are. These are people who lie about the phenomena and try and do so for their own personal benefit, and at the expense of any form of intelligent research or experimentation into the phenomena at hand. But the experience did happen. Whether this has a connection to remote viewing or astral projection is very hard to say, but it occurred. And it seemed to have been brought about semi-deliberately, because I did this chant every night for a few nights, until one night I basically turned that chant into a spell, because I increased the rate and energy of the chant itself. And at the end of it, after 10 minutes, I made a wish. And that wish was that I wanted to start to see the future in my dreams. All I can tell you is what happened. What it means about existence, consciousness, free will, we will never know. We can speculate as far as we want, but we will never actually know. Apart from the fact that I can, on the basis of my experiences, tell you that these experiences happened. And it's weird. And it's freaky. But it happened.